Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Hamilton-Wentworth District School Board's Human Development and Sexual Health Information Night. The goals of this presentation are to provide background about the Ontario Health and Physical Education curriculum for grades 1 through 8, explain some key messages, and develop a better understanding of instruction, the curriculum, and where to access information, and learn how parents and guardians and caregivers can learn more about the HWDSB exemption process. Tonight's presentation does have closed captioning available in translated several languages. The location depends on the device and can usually be found in the bottom right corner. The following languages are supported. I would like to begin tonight's presentation with our land acknowledgement. The Hamilton-Wentworth District School Board acknowledges our presence on ancestral Anishinaabe and Haudenosaunee Confederacy land as determined by the Dish with One Spoon Treaty. The intent of this agreement is for all nations sharing this territory to do so responsibly, respectfully, and sustainably in perpetuity. We respect the long-standing relationships with the local Indigenous communities, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, and the Six Nations of the Grand River. So tonight's session will format. We have an information presentation where I will be presenting. We'll then have a question and answer time through the live chat feature that you will see where you can submit answers. And we also have a parent guide and resources page on our board website. I have posted a direct link to that page in our chat feature. Tonight's presenters are myself, Simon Goodacre. I'm assistant principal with our Learning Services Department. And with me tonight is Bill Torrens, Superintendent of Program. Bill will bring a brief welcome.
Thank you, Simon. On behalf of the chair of our board, Don Danko, and our interim director, John Bryant, I'd like to thank all of you for taking the time to come out tonight for our information night on human development and sexual health. We look forward to being able to provide to you an overview of the learning that will be occurring in our classrooms between now and the end of June in health and physical education, and also being able to use the chat feature to address as many questions as we can this evening. And with that, I'll turn things back to Simon to continue with the presentation.
Thank you, Bill. So here's an agenda for tonight's session. I will review some background regarding the curriculum, some key messages regarding this unit, the exemption process, address some frequently asked questions, and the next steps. So the curriculum used was from 2019, and the health and physical education curriculum helps students learn the skills and knowledge they need to lead healthy, active lives and make healthy and safe choices. This learning relates to the everyday experiences of students at home, at school, and in the community, and helps students develop skills and habits that will enhance their physical, social, emotional, and mental well-being for the rest of their lives. Parents are the primary educators of their children with respect to learning about values, appropriate behavior, and ethnocultural, spiritual, and personal beliefs and traditions, and they are their children's first role models. It is therefore important for schools and parents to work together to ensure that home and school provide a mutually supportive framework for young people's education. HWDSB staff will teach the human development and sexual health component of the health and physical education curriculum to elementary students between May 3rd and June 20th of this school year. By then, educators will have developed strong relationships with students and have a clear understanding of their maturity levels. Developing this content in the spring helps ensure that we teach the curriculum in a developmentally and age-appropriate manner. Concerns sometimes circulate about what is and isn't taught. The best place to seek clarification and reassurance is from the school. To help parents feel comfortable with what students will learn, we encourage parents and guardians and caregivers to start with their child's teacher. Teachers can provide examples of the lesson plans developed and outline how the curriculum will be taught. The HWDSB has also produced an overview document that provides a breakdown of what students will learn in each grade about human development and sexual health. The exemption process. Exemptions will be granted for instruction related to all the human development and sexual health expectations in a student's grade. There will be no academic penalty for an exemption. There will be no assessment, evaluation, or reporting of exempted students' achievement of human development and sexual health in their grade. Exempted students' grade in health and physical education will be determined on the basis of the overall expectations in Strand D of the curriculum without consideration of the specific expectations under human development and sexual health. If parents, guardians, or caregivers want their children exempted from this learning, an exemption form will need to be completed. The form is now available and can be accessed through the parent portal. Paper copies or phone calls to schools will also be accepted if the parent portal is not an option for you. Before 2019, exemptions were based solely on the sexual health expectations of the curriculum. For example, in grade 1, the exemption would only be for the identifying body parts expectation. For the 2018 curriculum, expectations will be granted for instruction related to all the human development and sexual health expectations in a student's grade. This means that if you choose to exempt your child, they will not receive instruction in any human development and sexual health. This grade 1 exemption would include identifying the senses and hygienic procedures. Children exempt from grade 1 would not take part in any of the lessons on body parts, the 5 senses, or hygienic procedures. Meeting the needs of all learners. Depending on the needs of students, some additional considerations may be required. These considerations may apply to all health topics, but are particularly relevant to human development and sexual health. Educators will ensure that the resources used are appropriate to their physical, cognitive, social, and emotional development and needs. Different kinds of accommodations and approaches may be required for different students, but it is important we ensure that all students have access to information and support regarding their sexual health. When instructing the health and physical education curriculum, all HWDSB educators have access to the Ontario Physical and Health Education Association ready-to-use lesson plans and resources that are designed to address and support learning and curriculum expectations in grades 1 through 8. These resources are available to educators in both English and French. In addition, educators have access to support from program consultants through learning sessions and a support guide. If you have any questions with respect to timelines and delivery methods, please contact your child's school. And individual schools will be letting their communities know when Strand D will be taught. This communication occurs with a letter that is sent home from your child's school, and it will indicate the teacher teaching this unit. So that brings an end to the information session of tonight's presentation. Again, I have posted a link to our website, which has a parent resource center that has curriculum expectations by grade and also a selection of frequently asked questions. At this time, I will go off camera, and you are welcome to enter questions through the chat feature. Some of those questions, if they are common, either Bill or myself will speak to the questions. At the same time, we have the ability to answer the questions either privately through the chat feature, or if a question is common, we can also publish so that all can see. So at this time, you're welcome to submit any questions you have and we will address them. Thank you. One question that was submitted that is a good point. Tonight's session is recorded and will be available on our board website throughout the end of this week. If you go to our website currently, last year's presentation is available, and that will be replaced with tonight's presentation in the coming days. And just as people are starting to type in some questions, we will have a little pause. We'll read through them and then we will start to address them. Thank you. There are several questions regarding curriculum, and given the number of grades and the expectations vary by grade, the board website, the link that I provided at the beginning of the session, has a breakdown by grade. We would have a very lengthy presentation to go through all of them, and many parents find it more convenient. You can read and examine the curriculum expectations for each grade, depending on the one that you're interested in. So for those of you who are looking for information by grade, the website that I linked, and I will post again momentarily, has a tab that identifies the expectation for each grade.
I'm just going to take one of our questions. We did have a question around the grade 6 curriculum around sexual boundaries and consent. And in the making healthy choices portion of the curriculum for grade 6, decision making and consent is a topic that is within the curriculum. So I'll build on Simon's recommendation to explore the curriculum documents, but we can confirm and answer questions as much as possible through this presentation. So thank you.
I see a note that some questions around the form being available in the parent portal. I will follow up to make sure that that is available. It should be. If it is not, we will investigate and make sure that it comes back online. And again, if the parent portal is not accessible, schools can take that exemption from you at the school level as well.
We have a question also in regards to notification, and a letter will come to you from the school, from the classroom teacher, approximately 20 school days before the learning occurs, and our letters will outline the curriculum expectations that will be taught and your steps in terms of contacting the teacher to learn more about the how it will be taught as well.
Again, some questions regarding when a recording of tonight's session will be available. Usually we are able to get it up by the end of the following day. So by the end of the day tomorrow, the current video should be posted. For those of you who are interested, you'll notice that the curriculum is from 2019. Our information session is actually very similar. We've gone to a question and answer format more to address individual concerns because the underlying information has not changed for a few years. And last year's video actually contains very similar information. It would be tonight's questions that are different. But we will have the video up as soon as possible. Like I said, our communications department usually does that for us the following day. We have some questions regarding delivery and mixed classes, and that would be a school-based decision. Again, we are providing some central overview information, and the most important part of the delivery is at the school level with the teacher. And so when the school notifies you on the letter, it will indicate the teacher that is teaching this unit. And that teacher would be able to provide the information regarding how that school is delivering it in terms of groupings and classes, because it will differ by school. And some of the questions are around the letter. Again, it comes from the school and it will have criteria based on the grade of your child for the expectations that are being taught. Our website does provide a broader overview and you can actually then look at the continuum between grades, but the letter will identify expectations taught for the specific grade for that class. Some good questions regarding what do students with exemptions do? And again, because the number of students might vary between schools and schools have different setups within their buildings, the individual school will be able to give you what the alternate arrangements are for students during that time. And often there is a conversation with the family regarding what best suits your needs as well. It's hard for us to give an overview answer because the number of students and layout of each school is different. And so that communication at the school level is key. We can give you that notice that the letter will be going home from schools leading up to the teaching of the unit, and will identify the teacher for your child that will be delivering those expectations. Most commonly in some schools, it is the homeroom teacher. Other schools will have a health and physical education teacher specialized for that course, and so it varies by school as well. So we do continue to have some questions coming in. When they have a common theme, we are trying to group the questions and I'm speaking to them. Other questions, if we have more specific ones or they're individual questions, we do have one of our program consultants with us tonight who is answering some of those directly, both with Bill and I as well. So this is a process. We know that this unit is of interest to parents and caregivers. So tonight's session really is the start of a notification timeline so that you know that this is coming up, you know that you can find information, and that you know that schools will be making contact with you. That relationship and communication with the direct teacher, because depending on the age, grade, developmental level of students, there are so many factors in the delivery that communication with the individual teacher really is your best source of information, but they will all be following the Ontario curriculum in relation to these expectations. The questions coming in are slowing down a little, so I will I will give a 3-minute countdown for new questions because new questions have slowed. So we will go to 6:30 for input on new questions, and then we'll continue to make sure that there are answers. A few of the common questions we may have spoken to. If a number came in regarding the specific topics, we will try to type responses to people as much as possible. But 3 minutes for new questions if you have any more. Okay, we have a few final questions that have come in. Excellent question here just around the training and the support. So teachers do receive the resources through the Ontario Health Educators Physical Education Association. We refer to it as OPHEA, and those resources align with the provincial curriculum and are available. And our teachers have access to training and support both within school and through our program department centrally regarding these resources. But with the curriculum now being several years old, a number of teachers have developed their own skill with the delivery of these expectations as well. And then just some final questions regarding exemptions. So I will check to make sure that the exemption form is available on the parent portal. Just working through our support departments, it may take a couple days to if a problem had occurred, but we will make sure it is back up. But schools are able to support the exemption at the school level if you are unable to access the parent portal. And that when schools send the letter, there is that window that we mentioned that they can teach the expectations within. It's several weeks long, and they will choose a time within that. And their letter to you gives the specific time frame that they will be starting, and will give the time that they will then want that exemption letter or notice by, so that they're not starting the material when you are looking for an exemption. So because the specific date changes from each school for the start time and the delivery, the date for that exemption will vary by schools, but it is noted in the letter that you will receive. In this presentation and the letters are done in advance so that there are a certain amount of time for families to give that notice in as well. It also gives you time to receive the letter and to make communication with the teacher delivering the expectations so that you have some time to ask those specific questions that some of you are interested in, and that will allow you to make an informed decision regarding the exemption process. And it is important to note that even with the start time for the unit, if you do change your mind as the unit starts, you can notify the school and communicate with them as well. So the start dates and the timelines are just so that the exemption would occur before a unit starts, but if you do change your mind, you then can submit it at that point as well. Okay, we seem to, again, so we have, we are trying to respond to individual questions. We think we have answered most of the main concerns coming through. So we will continue to answer questions. But as we've had a little bit of lull of new questions, we're going to stop submission for new questions. Would like to thank you for joining us tonight. And again, we understand that this is a topic that many caregivers have questions about. And our goal tonight was to provide you with the information to start the process to allow you to learn about this topic, these expectations, and to make an informed decision as we approach the date of the units and of the instruction. So the board website does have, again, information and breakdown by grades. And that video that is there is still relevant and current, but tonight's video will replace it very shortly. And also as well, you will receive a letter from the school detailing the expectations by the specific grade with the teacher that will be teaching the unit, and that would be your best contact regarding the specific arrangements at the school level, and it will outline the timelines for the exemption. So hopefully we've been able to cover an overview for you tonight. So thank you for joining us and have a great evening.